Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. Today, we got some juicy Ripple XRP news to cover. Actually, we got three major pieces. First of all, XRP versus SEC. John Deaton makes another argument for the SEC's incompetence. Feels like we're reading about that every single day, huh? Then we have something about Ripple's new report, which reveals that 76% of the financial institutions expect to use crypto by 2025 and, well, a couple of the lackings, all right? We're going to cover that for sure. And then to kind of end it off, David Schwartz revealed a couple of secret sauce pieces, which of course we have to cover, so make sure you stay tuned and watch the entire video because it's about to be awesome. And also guys, if you're not checking it out just quite yet, make sure you check out my $10,000 crypto giveaway. Yeah, link is down below. Just go check it out and join through any manner which you want. I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and check it out because it's absolutely free and pretty damn simple. So go ahead and check it out and I'll see you guys in like 5 seconds. Well, that was actually just 0.1 second, but all right. XRP versus SEC. Comment down below who you think will win, SEC or Ripple. Just for fun's sake, let's see if anybody's supporting the SEC side. Kind of funny. Maybe there's a lot of people who support him. Who knows, right? While the legal battle between Ripple and the US SEC continues, and XRP holders are teaming up in a class action lawsuit against them, Japan's Shinsei Bank announced the launch of the new rewards program, which we covered in an earlier video. Now, such an initiative from a prominent institution once again proves the incompetence of the US SEC, crypto law founder John Deaton stated. This is Japan offering Bitcoin and XRP rewards to their customers. Why would a bank equate Bitcoin and XRP like that? Again, because Japan Bank is offering Bitcoin and XP as rewards to their customers. Now, doesn't this bank know about the SEC and its claims against XRP? Oh wait, everyone knows the SEC is violating 76 years of precedent. The rewards program, which began a couple of days ago and will run through October, involves rewarding Shinsei Bank customers for using its banking products and making transactions. That way, users will be able to earn yen, which they can then redeem for XRP or Bitcoin. Deaton in turn went on a sarcastic tirade, saying that Shinsei Bank would have been charged with illegal activities under the SEC selective enforcement. The lawyer also questioned whether Shinsei Bank was aware of the regulator's claims against the top 6 cryptocurrencies by market cap. The lawyer went on to answer his own question, saying that everyone is aware that the SEC has been in the business of violating its own rules for 76 years. Now, the most important part of this to me is the fact that the SEC indeed is going after so ridiculously many crypto, leaving a lot of companies to be a little bit on the sidelines thinking, okay, what do we do? Because if you think about it, right, all those companies which at some point got approval to list XRP, or at least did not get the no, because as of October 2020, nobody was said that they could not list XRP. But then in December 2020, they got basically shut down because the SEC sued him. Now, if you guys remember, Sherman, I believe it was, he wanted to go after all the exchanges which ever listed XRP. If you guys can see how crooked that would be, that would basically mean any single exchange that just did not know any better because they did not get any heads up from the SEC now would be in a lot of freaking trouble, purely because the SEC was not competent enough to tell them. But that would also mean that every single company right now utilizing XRP would be in some sort of trouble at some point or another. Now, you can understand how a lot of companies, for that exact reason, do not want to go into crypto just quite yet. Not talking about the losses, not talking about losing money because of a scam, talking about the fact that because the SEC might change their mind. You guys are going to understand as well. Sherman wanted to do this based upon the idea of what the SEC said, not what the judge ruled on. So he basically wants to make sure that the companies who were involved with XRP in some way, shape, or form got at least sued or some sort of trouble before it's official that XRP is a security, following the SEC's, observations. That would basically mean whatever the SEC says is true until it's proven incorrect by a judge. And if that's the way we're going to do things, it's going to be very scary for crypto in the US. Now, this bank, however, is based over in Japan, where XRP is completely fine. I mean, one of the biggest companies in the world, SBI, right? One of the biggest companies, everybody knows it. The CEO of that has been extremely bullish on the matter. Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have really been if XRP was completely banned or something like that over in Japan. It's just kind of fun to see the difference over in other parts of the world, I guess. Now, New Ripple report reveals 76% of financial institutions expect to use crypto by 2025, as I stated a little bit earlier. A new report by Ripple, looking at what percentage of financial institutions are interested in using blockchain for payments, has discovered that more than 3/4 of them plan to use crypto by 2025. Indeed, 76% of worldwide financial institutions want to utilize crypto over the next 3 years, provided that legislation permits it, which is what I was just talking about, right? They don't want that backstab eventually by the SEC saying, shouldn't have done that, my boy. According to the global study conducted by Ripple, published on August 11th. Meanwhile, at 71%, somewhat fewer businesses think that they'll employ crypto in the next 3 years, which is a departure from the general trend of firms being more open to digital assets and more hopeful about their advantages. Now, the use of crypto as a payment is the most important factor. The widespread usage of crypto for payments is the most important factor for businesses and financial institutions to take into consideration when deciding whether or not to include crypto in their investment portfolio. The utility of crypto as a hedge of some kind comes in second, while the associated use of crypto as a bridge currency comes in third. Asked more specifically why they would store crypto, 50% of the respondents named using it as a hedge against inflation, a currency for making payments, or an asset to lend or collateral for borrowing as one of their top 3 reasons for doing so. Interestingly, whether owing to their trust in banks, their existing connection with them, or some other aspect, the majority of consumers, 65%, questions internationally said they would purchase crypto via their bank if the bank provided it now, though. That's actually a very good amount. So you see crypto as a payment. That's written in a funny manner, okay? So, notably, almost 70% of the institutions questioned for this research expressed an interest in using blockchain tech for payments in some capacity, whether for internal bank transfers or branch transfers, payments between banks, or payments to customers. The broad interest applied not just to blockchain in general, but also with some differences to each primary token types, including crypto, CBDC, and stablecoins. Roughly 70% of financial institutions respondents said they're interested in deploying these tokens for different payment use cases. And both businesses and financial institutions place payments ahead of a variety of their portfolio use, such as hedging against economic downturns or hedging against foreign currency risks. Payments are prioritized above hedging in both cases, which is quite logical, The hedge comes from an investing perspective. This using it for payments just comes from earning more revenue with almost little to no downside except for regulatory-wise. I mean, think about it like this. If you can accept crypto and just completely transfer it over to whatever coin you want instantly, you don't really have to think about that. Why would you not take it if that opens up a new market segment? It's only when we start talking about hedging that you think, okay, we have to allocate a significant portion of our portfolio to this asset class that can do really bad because of every single reason out there. Do we want to do that? It's a way more difficult choice, so I understand. When asked what they believe to be the primary advantages of using crypto or blockchain tech for payments, financial institutions gave responses that they were reasonably evenly distributed over a range of benefits, with data security and quality coming out slightly ahead of expansion prospects in additional markets and real-time settlement. Now, this went a little bit further though, and this article I think described it pretty beautifully. So according to Ripple, blockchain and crypto technology together with CBDCs are expected to have a big impact on institutions. The various technologies such as NFTs and crypto are being leveraged by enterprises, governments, and in different ways as new uses come to light. However, and this is pretty key, given the nascent state of these new technologies and the inability of many to fully understand the possibilities, together with the ponderous application of regulations, the crypto industry is having trouble surmounting these barriers to the widespread adoption. In my own words, really, a lot of these companies would like to hop on, but they're just wondering how exactly, which is partially regulatory-wise and partially just not understanding exactly what they can do with it. Now, if you're asking them really specific questions, such as, would you be interested in accepting crypto payments? I think they can give an easy answer saying, yeah, probably yeah. But if you're asking really, what do you think of the future of crypto? Why? Inside of your company, that is, they might be a little bit more questioning as to how they could apply, for example, a supply chain solution which utilizes blockchain tech inside of their business. It's in a couple of extra steps to kind of think about how blockchain can change your company, unless you are actively in contact with a, for example, blockchain dev or supply chain, expander company or whatever. So I can understand that there's a limit in how much they understand this newer technology just quite yet. Same thing goes for Ripple's bridge. It can be kind of difficult to understand at first, I'd assume. And then there's something very interesting which Anders went over. Schwartz reveals the secret sauce in his long-term vision of global XRP liquidity pools about to come true soon. Take a look at this. Remember this tweet back in July, which we're going to read. For the first time, this reveals the planned secret sauce, a continuous auction mechanism that incentivizes arbitrageurs to burn liquidity tokens and arbitrageurs sooner, more accurately, and more frequently to increase the benefits to liquidity providers. Now, he's using very big words, secret sauce and game changer. He also tells us it's planned and will give automatic market makers more incentives to provide liquidity. Quote, a unique AMM implementation could allow those who provide liquidity for AMMs, automated market makers, to take a large share of the profits that are normally taken by arbitrageurs, while an early idea bringing this AMM approach to the XP ledger could be a game changer, end quote. Now, when I read this, I thought about some old Bob Way messages he made back in 2019 on XRP chat. Bob Way is a former employee at Ripple. Anyone can provide liquidity. This is July 1st. It's just an automation of market making. This is explicitly a trading strategy, and the purpose of a trading strategy of this kind is to get a return. I'll tweet more about this shortly. Bob Way discussed two different topics that caught my attention. The first was central banks. Notice that no work with crypto companies and central banks were known at the time and was generally considered hype, an old Bob Way tweet. He said, nice find, as a response to some people. That is exactly why the term has become so popular. Once you have an atomic settlement via two central banks, the game is over. Every other central bank will follow. Otherwise, their country would be at a significant disadvantage. Now, the other thing he discussed was a patent or a mechanism that would position XRP as the bridge asset in perpetuity. I think I've discovered the last algorithm that RippleNet needs to drive XRP into the bridge currency position, and also to maintain it here in perpetuity. And that algorithm won't necessarily be the first one employed to help XRP along the path. There are other ad hoc ways that might be simpler to implement and more effective for the initial corridors that companies want to deploy. Now, he even made a whole page discussing the patent. You can read it right here. This implies to me that this is a big deal. Now, it would maximize the profit for the market makers. So to me, it would lead to more market makers entering the space and providing liquidity for XRP, so they can more easily turn into a profit. Of course, this is a quote again, the patent works for any resource system, but if you apply the invention to money resources, then it would work as you explained. In your application of the patent, it would maximize the profit for the MM while minimizing the incentive transfer to market makers. This was a little while ago, 2019. He's also mentioning pool quite a lot, so I'm wondering if that's a hint to XPool, which, if you guys don't remember, was part of RippleNet as well. Wait a minute, you had XVIA, XCurrent, and XRapid. XPool was a different part, which is not included in RippleNet, I believe, but still a different solution, I guess. Feel free to ask more questions if you are confused. Keep in mind, this is not a financial patent. It is useful in creating pathways for converting any type of resource to any other type of resource. If your resource was water and you kept it in a pool in your yard, you might get sick of swimming and want to convert that to a pool filled with dirt. You undo that at any potential conversion factor that you find suitable. Now, I guess the patent or mechanism would hopefully lead to pools of XRP liquidity, which is the long-term vision for David Schwartz, because he said, my personal vision for XRP since 2013 or so was this idea of deep open public pools of liquidity that anyone anywhere could contribute to and draw off of, a global market for assets that someone happens to already have exactly where someone else happens to need them to be. This is a longer explanation from Bob Way about the mechanism and why he's mentioning it. Must read, and we're going to do that at a separate point. Now, I'll just keep it open for yourself so you can quickly read it for yourself if you want to right now. There we go. Hopefully you can read it if you want to. Now, overall, it seems that the mechanism would be implemented that would position XRP as the bridge asset. The Bob Way was assigned to find it in the company shows that it's a problem Ripple has been working on and apparently came up with some solution. Another question would be, why would they wait so long to implement it? To make sure everything is ready before taking the next step. Bob wrote this in 2019, but it seems very likely it's related to the AMM implementation Bob talked about. He implied that it would be deployed in several corridors at once. Ripple has opened up several new ODL corridors lately, and perhaps they wanted to wait until more markets were available for ODL, but this sentence kind of reveals it's ODL related. It says, high ROI encourages competition from the new market makers, which is consumptive of XRP. Increasing competition in every corridor at once could be quite consumptive of XRP, which again is good. Now, Bob also tells us there is, might not be his mechanism that gets deployed, but it could be something similar. So perhaps David Swartz's suggestion is something similar. Either way, it seems like a big deal since Swartz called it planned secret sauce and game changer. I think I've discovered the last algorithm that RippleNet needs to drive XRP into the bridge currency position, and also to maintain it there in perpetuity. But the algorithm won't necessarily be the first one employed to help XRP along the path. There are other ad hoc ways that might be simpler to implement and more effective for the initial corridors that companies want to deploy, as we read before, but hey. We also had the launch of Ripple's Liquidity Hub just recently, so it's very likely to provide a lot of benefits there as well. So let's quickly go back to this one right here. Let's give it a read anyway. The primary reason for talking about my mechanism is to convince everyone that at least one mechanism exists that could drive XRP into its prime position as a bridge currency. Now, lots of people in the cryptocurrency space presume that it's true. They also presume that their favorite crypto is going to become a bridge just because it is awesome and had X special feature that other currencies do not have. But people that study the economics of the ecosystem are rightfully skeptical that any cryptocurrency could become a de facto bridge currency. If you try to write down the sequence of steps needed for that to happen, there are almost always significant logical and conceptual gaps in most cryptocurrency fan theories. So what I set out to determine was, is there really a plausible path for that to happen? And also, what are the necessary requirements and forces needed to actually make it happen? That is what I documented inside the company, I guess, yeah. That was also what we patented and I assigned to Ripple. I've discussed this elsewhere on the site and won't rehash the backstory. The company has hinted at these techniques but not detailed any particular strategy that they will employ, at least based on what I've read in their press releases and public statements. I think I've discovered the last algorithm that RippleNet needs to drive XRP into the bridge currency position, and also to maintain it there in perpetuity, but that algorithm won't necessarily be the first, as we said before. Now, kind of keep it in mind, saying I discovered the last algorithm isn't very humble. Also note that once you find a way of doing something thought impossible, it becomes much, much easier to find a second or even better way. That was the lesson of Bitcoin's consensus algorithm. No one could find a good enough algorithm because no one thought it could be done. So no one thought they should bother looking. Once the Bitcoin algorithm was found, then boom, the Ripple algorithm, a re-emergence of other known academic algorithms, proof of stake, proof of space, expect the innovation to continue. So there's no guarantee that Ripple will ever deploy my exact algorithm. They may have better ideas in mind, ones that I'm not privy to, but what I do know for sure is that most of the other cryptocurrency teams don't have the resources they need to drive their currency into the bridge position. Nor do they even understand the economics of the ecosystem well enough to know why that is true. For some reason, I'm very dizzy and tired today. I'm not so sure exactly what's going on. So if my reading is a little bit off, I'm sorry about that. I am 100% certain you will hear skeptics contend that XRP will never become a bridge currency because they will reference math you don't understand and they will sound very convincing. Some will also try and convince you that all the same is true for all cryptocurrencies and that XRP is no different. I just thought the people here in this forum deserve enough information to know better. It is you that are going to be needed with the fire hose when these flame wars crop up. And yes, eventually other teams will realize that same issues Ripple realized 4 years ago, but I don't need to make a huge effort to speed them along in their understanding. So talking about it was a trade-off, but I hope a trade-off that was helpful to those on this site. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. No other way to write it. Beautiful idea, beautifully written by Anders as well. Very big props to him for writing it that way. Damn, that's a good, it makes you think about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that Ripple's doing in the background that we're not seeing. A lot of stuff that's being thought out for years that we're going to see most likely in the near future. And this shows again why Ripple is ahead of the game in so many different ways. But yeah, that was it for today's crypto video, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also check out my giveaway. Also check out my Telegram. And I'll see you guys again in another one.